many of these IITs students vie for, because it can literally transform your life. I literally got flashbacks of what happened during my JEE days in the first couple of weeks of IIM. Which company they wanted to go, in what function in that company they wanted to go. So लोग आके बोलते थे, I am from IIT Delhi. I want to go into Goldman Sachs, IBD, London desk. And I was sitting there clueless as to what I wanted to do in my life.
Which is good actually, by the way. Let's talk about the Nokia case.
Nokia आया था ये बोल के कि हमारा ना मार्केट शेयर स्टेबल रखो. एंड द इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग वाज कि द इंडियन लीडरशिप टोल्ड अस नॉट टू लुक एट द प्रोडक्ट. मतलब जब हम पहली बार केस में गए, वी कुड लिटरली सी दैट देयर प्रोडक्ट इज नॉट राइट, that they are bleeding because there is no product market fit anymore. But 9 months after that, the whole mobile division was literally shut down of Nokia. I think one of the most important things for the top layer is to ask the right questions. And answers तो मिल जाएंगे, पर अगर सवाल ही सही नहीं पूछा, probably all the right answers, but to the wrong questions.
Welcome to yet another episode of Tomorrow Today with Shekhar Natarajan. It's a real pleasure to have Avinash Pandit here in the sets today. He's trying to redefine education and outcome-based education in India. Avinash, welcome to the show. You're a pioneer in the space. I'm super excited to have the conversation because education is very close to my heart. And we'll touch on a lot of topics. We'll keep it very conversational. We'll take it any direction and we'll have fun.
Sure.
Okay. And so there are no right answers, there are no wrong answers, just be yourself. So let's go to the very formative stages of your life. Like, early days, where did you grow up? Like, if you go back yourself and transport when you were like a 7-year-old kid and you're sitting at the breakfast table, your mom, your dad, what's going on through the family, who are they, how do they think, what were you thinking?
So I think that's a long time back. How old do you think I am, by the way, Shekhar?
I know your age. So that was a trick question. So yes, I think like you're 41, 42.
Yeah. I mean, many people have told me that I look more like 25. But yeah, was a long time back. So my dad comes from army background, right? So most of my childhood, we've traveled every 3 years to some different location, right? So home, I think what army makes you realize is that home is a feeling rather than a location, right? So I've been to Pathankot, Aurangabad, Ranchi, Pune, Chandigarh. My dad was posted in border areas like Kashmir. But I've traveled throughout. My dad was a doctor. My mom was a doctor. I got a twin sister, by the way, who again has become a doctor later on. But early in my days, I think what was inculcated.
They were in the armed forces and they were basically doctors.
Yeah, my dad was a doctor. He was in army, and my mom was a teacher. So whenever we used to travel, she used to take up a teaching job. I think what was important was, and my dad was a ranked officer, by the way, right? So I think from early childhood, I've studied and made friends with people from across the ranks. Even that small privilege, right? A ranking officer's kid, I think I knew it from the beginning that I was slightly more privileged as compared to, the rest of the population. My parents had studied. They could teach me if I had any particular problem statements. Many of even these things were not accessible to my peers, right? The other thing which was important was the values and ethos which army brings, right? So taking everybody together, honesty, integrity, and sticking by what we feel is right is very, very important, right? So all of these were net the values which I grew up with. But if you just ask specifically breakfast, then I've had the same breakfast for probably as long as I remember. I just have 2 eggs and a bread.
So what kind of ethos the family was known for, in the sense, like, for me, like, my dad was the sort of the epitome of hard work. Like he would like leave at like 5:30 in the morning, go on a bicycle, 15 kilometers to work, and then like he would sit like he used to deliver telegrams. My father,
Got it.
and then he would spend the whole day, come back. So that's how I know my dad. My mom is like, she used to be the strongest person I knew.
Yeah.
So tell me more about your family, like who they are.
So my dad comes from a very, very underprivileged background. Um, he lost. There were 6 siblings, and they were almost on the verge of poverty. Right. So he lost his mother very early in his life, and his eldest sister, Net, ensured that all of these siblings were raised properly, and they were almost on the verge of poverty at one point of time. So all of these guys are self-made. All of these brothers, sisters. My dad joined army because it was paying. Right. So he joined army because it put food on the table. And he is purely a self-made man. Same goes true for my mother as well. Right. So I think when I talk about the values are also of, let's say, middle class Indians as they are of army. Right. So definitely hard work, honesty, putting in all the efforts in whatever job you undertake. I'll say these are more Indian middle class values. Definitely these were what I was raised with, which is what I sometimes feel, right? That our parents, and I think same holds for you as well, have seen hardships which we cannot even imagine. I think the same hardships millions of Indians even currently are facing.
Yeah. So obviously education is a very big role in like like in growing up. Like did your parents tell you like you got to be a doctor, you got to be an engineer, you have to do this? Like what was it like in your house, like the role of education, having a relevant degree? Because that's an aspiration of every like middle class family in India. Like मेरा
Yeah.
कुछ ना हो जाए, like मेरा बेटा का बेसिकली इंजीनियर बन जाए, उसका जिंदगी बन जाएगा.
So education, I think, was very important, at least in my household, because I think both of my parents had come out of their situations because they had studied, right? So I don't think there was like a mandate that we either had to become a doctor or an engineer. I think it just happened.
That your sister is engineer, like
My
a
sister's a
doctor,
doctor
and you're an engineer.
I'm an engineer. Yeah. So I think it just happened.
And they're
But
twins too, by the way.
yeah, I mean, see, growing up, um, I was pretty good with numbers since beginning. Like, so physics, maths, chemistry. I used to enjoy these. Um, my sister was more. Um, I mean, she'd seen my mother, she'd seen my father treat patients, so I think that became her passion. But it was not mandated per se. But yeah, education, I think, was put. Uh, education had very high importance because they themselves had come out of those situations.
So now, like basically, let's fast forward a little bit in terms of your trajectory. So, like obviously, you prepared for IITs. I'm sure, like that was everyone's dream if you're in
Yeah.
math. I'm sure your sister actually prepared for AIMS as well, or NEET now, right? So tell me what happened. Like I'm sure like you had
Yeah.
dreams of going to IIT, and like either you had it or like you got shattered and then you had to
Yeah.
rebuild.
So I think, see, one thing which I would want to say before I give the story is this is what I always tell the students, that I think these type of exams test those students on one single day at one given point of time, right? That does not define their, let's say, 30, 40-year-old career. And I'm a prime example of that. I'm literally a prime example of that. So I gave JEE way back in 2001, 2002. And at that point of time, there were 3,000 seats in IIT. There used to be 2 exams. There used to be like a screening exam and a mains exam. And I'd gotten 6,000 rank in each one of those. Probably was like the worst day of my life when I was, let's say, 17 years old. I think I've seen many more worse days in life after that. But yeah, for a 17-year-old me, probably it was one of the first failures which I'd seen. I'd always topped my school. I used to consider myself pretty brilliant. And it was literally earth shattering that I could not get into a prestigious institute in India. I did my engineering from a college called Army Institute of Technology. It's in Pune. And after that, life followed, right? But I've seen so much of life after that that one particular exam on that one particular day has stopped mattering later on.
But in that moment, it was like a very devastating thing.
Of course, I mean, it
Yeah.
was all of these institutions are the dream of majority of Indians. I think because of two factors. One is that they give access to opportunity. Many of these IITs students vie for because it can literally transform your life. And that relates to what opportunities these institutions bring later on, which is what I'm trying to do, by the way, right? Democratizing access to opportunities is something which I'm trying to do in my current educational venture.
So, but I agree with you. You know, like over the last 25 years, I've been in the United States and I've worked for a lot of very large companies and very large roles, mostly executive roles, like, you know, like in the C level or like just one below. And I had the opportunity of hiring a lot of amazing talent. And you'd be shocked that like most of the talent didn't come from like MIT and Harvard.
Yeah.
You know, like in fact, like they couldn't actually even look and tie their shoes together, those kids.
Yeah, I think what happens is many of these students who actually get into IIT, they've prepared so hard for it that IIT seems to be like the final destination for majority of them. But life starts
right after that.
Right after that.
Yes. And like and I think like, you know, there is also a sense of like, you know, to your point, entitlement that you like tend to have when you get there, that like makes you feel that like, hey, I have arrived at IIT, so like, you know, the life is just beautiful after that. And sometimes basically like, you know, you not only get cocky, but like you know, you become less hungrier, you know, as a person, right? So basically like, you know, you just, that whole makeup of yours becomes such that basically you become less risk averse, and like, you know, you are just like, you know, you're good within yourself, and you feel like, you know, oh, like what's going to go wrong. But the guy who went to Florida International University, that fellow will say like, you know, I have nothing to lose in my life. They get more hungrier.
No, exactly.
And they work harder. So hard work is actually like a compensation. In fact, it's a better compensation for being smart.
I completely agree.
So so like now take us forward, like, you know, you went through the army school, like, so what did you study, what did you do there, and what was your specialization in
engineering?
Yeah.
So I did my engineering in electronics and telecommunication, but this was early 2000s, right? So IT service companies were growing at that point of time and used to hire in droves.
Yeah.
Right. So
this is like the HCLs, the Cognizants.
Yeah. So Wipro, Infosys, TCS,
Yeah.
HCL Tech, Cognizant.
Yeah.
Satyam was also there at that point of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started my journey with Infosys after my engineering, and I was there for about 3 years or so. I actually topped the batch, the training batch in Infosys. I think Infosys, what it really gave me was a passion for coding, right? And net ensuring that I never get scared of code after that. I had never coded before. They trained me for 6 months, but probably it was the best groundwork for what came ahead. But yeah, I think the service companies then and even now, for that matter, are based on cost arbitrage, right? They price on a per person utilization basis. And I think pretty soon, probably by the second year in Infosys, I realized that I could do so much more as compared to what I was doing there. I literally was working, let's say, 3 hours every day, was in the top quartile, like top 25% of the employees. And rest of the times I spent improving myself in table tennis, in snooker, swimming, going to gym, learning Age of Empire, playing Counter-Strike. So I did so Yeah. Infosys for me was, I think there were two things. One was it was like a second college for me because I could do so many things in Infosys, but it also laid, I think, the groundwork for, um, what really came ahead. I utilized what I'd learned in Infosys all across my later years.
That's interesting that, like, because like I thought like the cost arbitrage actually like puts more pressure on you to be always more efficient than what you are. Looks like that didn't like bother you.
नहीं तो इसमें I think what the problem with all of these older companies is that as you rise, you write less code, right? And the domain might change. The code structures and stacks will change, right? So as you rise higher, if you are not in touch with what is happening in the world, you will soon lose touch and on the timelines कि कितने टाइम में ये बन सकता है. तो जब आपको आपके मैनेजर से ज़्यादा आता है कोडिंग पर्सपेक्टिव से, तो आप टाइमलाइन, सो लेट्स से मुझे 3 दिन लगेंगे या 4 दिन लगेंगे किसी काम के लिए. I can 2x the time and tell my manager that it's going to take 7-8 days. He's going to probably 1.5 2x that and going to give it to his manager without asking me questions कि क्यों लगेगा. So I think Infosys was a bit of that, at least at that point of time. I think probably I foresee Indian IT services to be majorly impacted
For sure.
because of AI.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons is this as well.
So that you think that they're not like really geared to actually take on the AI?
I really don't think so.
Is it a problem with reskilling, or is it a problem with like the fact that the arbitrage is a problem, like cost? Because you could code yourself today. Code is generating code. That's one problem. The second problem is basically like, even if the code is generating code, I still think that there's a lot of jobs to be done in the world of AI because it's all probabilistic in nature. So it surfaces more problems to solve that we are not aware of. But I fundamentally think like people are not even trained to think that way, like to solve those problems.
I have a very, very strong feeling that companies will start setting up their own offshoring units inside of India, which is already happening, by the way, with GCCs.
Oh, use GCCs.
With GCCs.
Yeah.
है ना, तो अभी see, problem is that majority of these IT service companies have only few products per se. जैसे Infosys का एक Finacle करके product है, which has been there since 20 years, which is like the back end of banking for probably 25% of the retail banking in the world. But such products are very few. जो भी इनका मेजर काम होता है, that is maintenance of legacy code. तो उसमें कुछ improvements हो गए, but majorly it is ensuring that all of this is running without any problems. All of this is pattern recognition. है ना, मोटा pattern recognition है. AI can do a substantially better job in any of these. और मैंने जैसे example भी दिया, I think one person who is utilizing AI properly can probably do the work of 10-20 people at this point of time. So उनका जो model है on arbitrage, but the model is billing on a per user number of hours billed. I think that model itself is breaking down. तो हो सकता है कि when all of these AI companies go public, the cost increases. But I think the productivity gains are still so much that Indian IT companies are, unless they fundamentally change their model itself, they have domain expertise. But domain expertise is what? Net, even that is understanding, let's say, 50 years of data and figuring out patterns in terms of what is working and what is not working. I think AI is going to be better than 10 managers of any of these IT service companies. Vishal actually wanted to invest in Vishal Sikka wanted to invest in OpenAI at the time, like when OpenAI was conceived. Yeah. And he was shot. So, Infosys would have been in a different place and time now had that happened. But like, I think there are so many cases. है ना, मतलब Xerox का जो केस हम सुनते रहते हैं that
Kodak का भी वही है.
Kodak आया,
हाँ.
Nokia का केस सुनते रहते हैं. You know, all of these smartphones जब आए, feature phones चले गए. I think it's just that either you improve in terms of what is happening, you adapt, or you die.
So then you decided to actually go to get your management degree. What was the
Yeah.
urge for that?
Yeah, so as I said, in Infosys, I really felt that I could do so much more with my time.
Mm.
And MBA just made sense at that point of time, right? So I felt that I could actually learn how to do business. By the way, no one in my family has ever gone and done any businesses, right? So, but yeah, I thought will be good to just go and learn how businesses operate. Gave this exam called CAT. I got very good percentile, so I got 99.88 percentile in CAT. I got calls from all the IIMs. Went into IIM Calcutta, right? IIM Calcutta was a completely different ball game altogether, right? So I literally got flashbacks of what happened during my JE days in the first couple of weeks of IIM, because it was filled with IITians. It was filled with IITians who knew exactly which company they wanted to go, in what function in that company they wanted to go. तो लोग आके बोलते थे, I am from IIT Delhi. I want to go into Goldman Sachs, IBD, London desk. So IBD is investment banking division. And I was sitting there clueless as to what I wanted to do in my life.
Which is good, actually, by the way. In hindsight, like, you know, like I sometimes, like, you know, when you actually create a path for yourself, and if that path doesn't mature, you're like actually thrown off your balance.
That makes so much sense. Yeah.
Like, so, like, you know, like what I've come to realize is because, like, you know, that happens. Like, you need to have like a sense of what actually excites you, what actually, like, you know, makes you wake up every day and go do something, right? You should have that clarity of thought, but it should not be like, you know, I'm going to do this is my first step, this is my second step, this is my third step, because life is anything but that. Like, you know, there's nothing certain about anything that you want to do.
Yeah, that is so true, and that is such a good philosophy to have.
Yeah. मैंने सब कुछ किया. You know, like, I graduated from my from Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech Industrial Engineering, वो भी like, you know, it was like just like random admission I had. Like, you know, my brother had an admission from University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
Got it.
Okay. And Tuscaloosa, Alabama se Atlanta was only 4 hours in a bus ride. So my choice of university to go to Georgia Tech was to be close to my brother, because he had like bipolar depression. मैंने बोला like इनकी पिंकी पोंकी इधर जाते हैं.
I mean, Georgia Tech, you're being too modest.
नहीं. It was actually that. Actually, to be honest, it was that. Because I had other universities, you know, I'd gotten into, like, and I said, like, no, I really want to go there because I want to stay close to my brother, because if something happens to him, I want to be there for him. So फिर जाने के बाद, like, it was supposed to be like, you know, I find out that it's like the top school for industrial engineering for the last 20 years. And गया उधर, basically industrial engineering खत्म किया, तो job आया ही नहीं मुझे. आया ही नहीं. 1 साल के लिए आया नहीं. तो मैं, like, you know, what was my actual first job after graduating from the top school for industrial engineering? I must have been a bad student, by the way. that could have been the other thing. Is to go wire computers in the Office of Information Technology.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And then I was working in a multimedia lab.
Got it.
In the same lab. And so it was part of the library system. So when I had that, so I could have sulked, because all my friends were going to Capital One. वो टाइम पे तो बिजनेस एनालिस्ट का जॉब, तो इट वाज लाइक, यू नो, इट वाज लाइक वेरी गुड. लाइक, आपको बिजनेस एनालिस्ट इन कैपिटल वन मिल गया. वो केस भी कैसा क्रैक करना है, लोग प्रिपेयर कर लेते हैं सब बैठ के, कि बैंक इतने में कार्ड आता है, इसको इतना, इसका नेट इनकम ये है, तो वो प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव आ जाता है. तो आई यूज्ड टू सी ऑल दीस गाइज प्रिपेयर फॉर द सेम डैम क्वेश्चंस आल्सो, एंड एवरीवन वुड क्रैक. एंड मैं बोला कि यार, ये तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो? इंडस्ट्रियल इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ा, लेकिन जाके साला वो बैंक में काम कर रहे हो बिजनेस एनालिस्ट के जैसा. कुछ तो दिमाग लगाओ. तो एनीवे, like, everyone chose their life of choice, And I didn't sulk about any of those things. And I said, like, जो भी आएगा हाथ में आ जाएगा. So I was in multimedia lab, and my lab manager said, why don't you build a movie resume and give it to someone? Because, like, you're helping kids make movies, and, like, वो time पे
Yeah.
Flash चलता था,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
तो so Adobe Flash, Adobe Illustrator में बनाओ, Flash में ये डालो, फिर उसके Premiere में जाके उसको एडिट करो, मूवी बना दो. तो मैंने बोला, मेरी कौन सुनेगा? ना मुझे एक्सेंट है, ना मेरा चेहरा कोई देखेगा.
हाँ.
तो मैंने बोला कि I'll create a multimedia, like a very like it's almost like a uh, you have subliminal things coming behind the scenes. It's animated. And then I had like the music from Matrix Revolutions, Navras का लास्ट में क्रेडिट्स में आता है ना, वो डाल दिया मैंने, 6 मिनट का लगाओ. तो मूवी का बना दिया, and I put it on a CD which was the size of a business card,
हाँ.
and I never used it. But then I got a job, like as a corporate specialist in a rubber band company. It was in industrial engineering and process engineering.
Got it.
So I took that. Gaya mera like kismat kharab. Okay. So 6 months I stayed there. And then I figured, like, I was working for a manic depressant who fires one day and like rehires the next day. मैं बोला, यार मेरे को like 2 बंदों के साथ डील नहीं करना, एक मेरा भाई और एक ये एक ही बार. तो चलो वो छोड़ दिया मैंने. तो मैं बैठा हुआ था, मेरे लेटा हुआ था मैं, like I was literally sleeping on the couch. I recollected that I had access to LexisNexis from the library. And then I looked up like Coca-Cola. I did not know Coke Consolidated and bottling company was called Coca-Cola.
हाँ.
And basically Coke was KO, the way it is actually, like, it's traded in the stock market. तो मैंने Coke डाल दिया उसमें, COKE. तो इसका आ गया Coke Consolidated Bottling Company.
हाँ.
तो I found the exec. I sent that movie resume. He saw the movie resume. Job मिल गया मेरे को.
Got it.
So that was my journey.
Got it.
So, like, how accidental all these things are, but
Yeah.
can you prepare for that?
Yeah, but आपके journey पे भी ना, I think, and this is what I have seen also. Probably what is the most important in our working life is, one, how much efforts that you put in, but also the relationships that you build along the way.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of these opportunities just show up because you have built the right relationships while working.
Yeah.
So you, for example, the first time your manager told you to do something, he would have told you to do something because you really worked towards the prior goals and you build a relationship with him.
Yeah.
So I think the accidental is also, the probability can be improved substantially if you
have the right
have
relationships.
the right relationships in the workplace.
And the right context also. And like right people to guide you in the right way. So which is the problem with the current education system? It's all like tailored, like, to I don't know, like, when you go to like education system, like everyone is uniquely different, like just as your fingerprint. But the way you actually deliver education is all the same.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no special care for a person who needs like special attention and like what makes them unique.
Yeah.
Right? There's no personalization. I always found it very interesting, that whole education system. It's all screwed up. But anyway, like who might fix it? But anyway, so from there you finished IIM Calcutta, and then you did what?
Yeah, so in IIM के अंदर ना पहले कुछ हफ्ते were very, very bad. As I said,
Depression हो गया.
because there were people from IIT जिनको, I think this is one of the things that you get by being a part of premier institutions, that you get exposure, right? So many of these kids who came into IIM already had done a lot of things which mattered. तो लोगों ने CFA किया हुआ है, फाइनेंस पढ़ा हुआ है, तो हम पहली बार जा रहे हैं, डेबिट क्रेडिट में ही उलझ के रह गए कि ये क्या होता है, वो क्या होता है, यहाँ पे प्लस, यहाँ पे माइनस. These guys were scoring A+, जबकि we were like really struggling to, ऐसे नॉर्मल कर्व में सेंटर में B+ होता था. At the other side used to be A+, here it used to be like a D. So, but I think IIM Calcutta के अंदर, probably after a month or so, I made myself a promise that I will put in my best efforts. Right? So I graduated IIM Calcutta with in the Dean's list, which is given to the top, let's say 5%. So many of these IIT kids who came with me, were behind me by the end of it. So I joined this consulting company called Boston Consulting Group. So it is one of the top strategy companies in the world. So just McKinsey, Bain, A.T. Kearney, Oliver Wyman. So these are the top, let's say, strategy consulting firms. And I think IIM gave me a very good base of what will go into a business, right? What will make it succeed, what will not make it succeed. But जो first principles वाला thinking है, that figure out what is the top problem and then break it down into smaller subsections and then get solutions for them. This is what the thinking in first principles, thinking in terms of frameworks, is what consulting really, really taught me. So BCG में I've worked across many sectors. I've worked in fintech, consulted big banks. I've worked in consumer electronics. Just Nokia was one of the companies which was a very interesting case. I've done commercial vehicles. I've done industrial goods. So got a sense of businesses across and worked from literally the top CXO layer to the bottom layer in terms of getting the work done.
Let's talk about the Nokia case.
Yeah, so Nokia was a very, very interesting case study. So consulting में, at least in top strategy consulting firms, क्या होता है कि बड़ी कंपनीज के CEOs आते हैं and they have mandate either to increase the top line, which is revenue, or they give mandate to increase the bottom line, which is the profit. है ना, दोनों में से कोई कहीं ना कहीं एक फिट करेगा. नोकिया आया था ये बोल के कि हमारा ना मार्केट शेयर स्टेबल रखो, ऐसे भी नहीं कि उसको बढ़ाओ या प्रॉफिट इम्प्रूव करो. और दिस इज लाइक अर्ली 2010s. तो सैमसंग था. सैमसंग वाज रियली टेकिंग अवे द मार्केट शेयर इन द टॉप सेगमेंट. तो फीचर फोन्स थे पहले, स्मार्टफोन्स में शिफ्ट हो रहा था मार्केट. सैमसंग वाज टेकिंग अवे द टॉप एंड ऑफ द मार्केट और नीचे सारे चाइनीज मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इंडियन ब्रांड्स थे, जैसे स्पाइस, लावा, माइक्रोमैक्स. एंड नोकिया वाज गेटिंग स्क्वीज्ड फ्रॉम बोथ द साइड्स, कि ऊपर से भी प्रेशर आ रहा है, नीचे से भी प्रेशर आ रहा है. एंड द इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग वाज कि द इंडियन लीडरशिप टोल्ड अस नॉट टू लुक एट द प्रोडक्ट. मतलब जब हम पहली बार केस में गए, वी कुड लिटरली सी दैट देयर प्रोडक्ट इज नॉट राइट, दैट दे आर ब्लीडिंग बिकॉज देयर इज नो प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट एनी मोर. जो 5 साल पहले अच्छा प्रोडक्ट था वो उस डेट में वॉज नॉट वर्थ एट ऑल एट द प्राइस पॉइंट एट विच दे वर सेलिंग. एंड दे केम टू अस सेइंग कि रिटेल स्ट्रैटेजी फिक्स करो, रिटेल स्ट्रैटेजी. एंड नो मैटर हाउ मच I think BCG pushed back, they said don't look at the product. So we ended up, by the way, giving them a retail strategy which helped them increase the market share for, let's say, 2-3 months. But 9 months after that, then the whole mobile division was literally shut down of Nokia. Yeah, the way ki, I think in top and you worked as the top layer in many of the companies. I think one of the most important things for the top layer is to ask the right questions. है ना, आंसर्स तो मिल जाएंगे, पर अगर सवाल ही सही नहीं पूछा तो डज नॉट मैटर हाउ हार्ड द टीम वर्क्स, डज नॉट मैटर कितनी जी जान से लोग काम कर रहे हैं, if the efforts are not in the right direction, it will not matter. है ना. तो I think from a consulting standpoint, we gave them probably all the right answers, but to the wrong questions.
So from there, you basically ended up like consulting for more companies, and then like
Yeah.
you what is your career trajectory from there?
Yeah, so I think BCG had consulted this company called Hero Honda, and Hero wanted to separate from Honda and expand internationally. And BCG had done that case study with Hero, right? So they wanted someone to stick back and help them build their international business. So I was the person who stayed back, right? So ended up helping Hero MotoCorp enter into 37 countries internationally. In Southeast Asia, we were present in a large part in African continent. We were present in Latin American continent, and a small portion in Middle East as well. Right. So that was what I did after Hero, and sorry, that was what I did after BCG. And then Hero NetNet, I took care of almost everything apart from PNL. Right. So product, pricing, distribution, marketing strategy, gave a very, very good hands-on feeler of what actually running a business will look like. और इसमें ना और एक चीज़ बहुत समझ में आई कि एग्जीक्यूशन इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम स्ट्रैटेजी क्रिएशन. काफ़ी बार, एंड आई थिंक यू वुड हैव आल्सो रियलाइज, you've done so many things in your life. Strategy is good as a broad playbook, but जब एग्जीक्यूट करने जाते हैं इतनी चीज़ें अलग होती हैं that you need to throw away the framework at some point of time and then actually just focus on getting things done. And the market teaches you. If you listen closely enough, I think the market itself will tell you this is right, this is wrong, this is what you need to do. And I've seen numerous examples of that. Nigeria की एक strategy बनाई थी हमने, and Nigeria is one of the biggest markets in Africa. Very different from, let's say, a Kenya or a Uganda on the other side of the continent. Bikes are used as commercial vehicles. तो हमने एक strategy बनाई वहाँ पे बनाई थी during BCG time also. When we actually went and launched there, the requirements were so different. And of course, we had gone and tested it out. But road conditions are different. The loading factors are different. Bike का chassis वगैरह कितना strong होना चाहिए based on the loading factors is very different. Engine कितना strong होना चाहिए ताकि उन conditions में चले is very different. It's a multi-retail framework rather than exclusive retail like in India. So the retail strategies are very different. ये सारा थोड़ा execute करते करते ही समझ में आता है. So going on the ground, putting your ear and actually listening to what the market is saying. So I think Hero gave me a very good foundation in that. Right. And then I think Hero is when I NetNet thought that I've now had experience across the top companies in India. I've done consulting. I know I have cross-sectoral understanding. And then why not, eventually get into startups. So after Hero, then I went to this company called Oyo. And in Oyo, I was heading their US and Canadian. So I launched their US and Canadian market. And then I was eventually heading the revenue of 14 countries in Southeast Asia, Middle East, and then Japan. Right? So I think Oyo was also a very, very good experience. उस वक्त ओयो ने SoftBank से काफ़ी फंड रेज किए थे. And the talent density was so good, so immense. I think many of the Oyo alumni have done exceptionally well. Very good mix of strategic brain and hustle culture, which is to actually go get the things done and reframe the problem statements if required. This was also the time during COVID, by the way, when I was in Oyo, and travel was one of the worst hit segments, right? So the company shifted from being a growth oriented company to a company which wants to break even and become profitable. So we had to trim down the workforce by a large extent. Probably that was one of the phases in my life which was very difficult for me to handle as well. I mean, coming from an army background, we are made to think in a way that we take everyone along us. है ना. तो वहाँ पे पहली बार ऐसे हुआ था कि I had to literally fire 35-40% of my team. And बहुत सारे लोग बाकी अच्छी जॉब्स छोड़ के आए हैं, खुद का टाइम दे रहे हैं. They are working with me, for me. I really felt responsible for majority of them. So I mean, I tried to help as many people as I could, but it was probably one of the most difficult phases of my working career. And post Oyo, then I went into education sector. Right? Education mein, I think I've seen the market up close. India mein, I think probably the most important problem statement is giving the right access to opportunities. As we were discussing also, I think majority of these premier institutions are built on the premise that they will set you in life. और वो तभी होगा और वो होता भी है क्योंकि अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ का एक्सेस इतना लिमिटेड है इंडिया में, ओनली विथ लेट्स से द टॉप इंस्टीट्यूशंस. तो आई थिंक एजुकेशन में eventually what I realized was democratizing this access to opportunities is probably what is the most important problem statement at present, which is what I'm trying to solve for at this point of time.
Very interesting. So then you ended up like starting Zenith.
Yes.
So what is what are the close parallels you've seen? ISB looks very similar.
So this will fall under alternate education or new age colleges, right? I think ISB was probably the first institution to do it. So there are IMs, there is FMS, and so on and so forth. ISB said कि आज के डेट में a different paradigm is required in terms of how management education is taught, and they set up an institution which gives access to these different frameworks, better teachers from the industry who have actually lived that life, and also access to opportunities. We are doing something very similar for engineering, right? Something very, very similar for engineering. So we are giving a BTech in AI. The degree is in partnership with KR Mangalam University, but it's a BTech in AI. The curriculum is what is required in the world at this point of time, right? It is not, let's say if you look at traditional colleges, the curriculum is actually 20 years old. जो हमने पढ़ा होगा ना इंजीनियरिंग में, वो ऐसे आज का, और आपने तो मेरे से भी पहले किया है ना इंजीनियरिंग, प्रॉब्ली 8 years बिफोर मी एज वेल. बट अगर आप अपने टाइम के बुक्स देखो और आज के बुक्स देखो, यू विल सी दैट 90% इज सेम. सो दुनिया इतनी तेज़ी से बदल रही है. I think at least since we have got AI in the world, I think we are seeing technological shifts happening every 6 months. So 20 years is almost like
lifetime.
Lifetime. So the curriculum is updated, is up to date and updated every 6 months. We've created it with international AI experts. Right? We have people from Cohere, we have people from Meta, we have people from Tesla who've helped us design this curriculum. It's being taught by industry experts, the people who actually are working in those particular domains. And we also have something called as a mini MBA, right? So we are giving a minor in business. I think where the world is heading to is that technology or business के बीच में जो distinction था, that is slowly fading away, right? So this is what we are trying to do, along with giving access to the opportunities, whatever network that me and other co-founders have created, and we have a big placement team as well. So access to opportunities is made institutional, not left to students. काफ़ी सारे कॉलेजेस में आपने देखा होगा कि प्लेसमेंट या अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ जो हैं वो स्टूडेंट्स मैनेज कर रहे हैं. सो इन आवर इंस्टीट्यूशन इट इज़ इंस्टीट्यूट लेड.
So you have 4 co-founders along with you, and then you have like 100 crores behind this whole idea. So tell me a little bit more about like when would like people start seeing success on the other side? Like, is it like 3 years? Is the first batch coming out when, like 2029 or
30?
30.
Yeah, but
you're already seeing signs of good progress and other things.
Yeah, so see, the students will start seeing the results as early as end of their first year, right? So by end of first year, they will be skilled enough to be deployed in the industry, right? So we are expecting that majority of the batch will have at least one paid intern by end of their first year, and by the end of fourth year, they do at least 4 to 5 paid internships. Of course, we will provide the right tools, we will provide the right opportunities, but we also expect that the students really put in their effort as well to get into these opportunities, right? But the expectation is not that the first sign of success will be in 2030. It should be by the end of their first year itself.
Very good. And then the how do you basically gauge the efficacy of the curriculum itself? Like, I know that it's developed by people who are actually in like,
Yeah.
working in like professional settings, and they're keeping you updated of what is current and what is not. So, but the technology is also changing so fast. So the research is very important, like what's happening in the top AI labs and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
How do you capture that essence of what you're trying to do in this curriculum?
So India mein, I think in at least in AI, India is not at the frontier. You are sitting out of US, so you will also probably have similar things to say. But India is not at the frontier. So this is one of the important reasons why we got international experts in the first place. India में जो चल रहा है वो तो हमें पता है ना? So Indian companies, where they are at, what stacks they are working on, how they are utilizing AI, how the AI adoption curve is happening in Indian companies. So I get very deep connects in the startup ecosystem, in the venture capital ecosystem. My co-founders, so we have Vivek and Anoop, who are from IIT BHU. They have run a company called Programming Pathshala, which has upskilled around 20,000 students, placed over 1,000 students in top Mang and AI companies. Right, so they get a very good understanding of what is happening in these top tech companies in India. And then we have Rohit as well, who is the promoter of KR Mangalam. And he brings in a lot of expertise in AI itself. He's been an AI researcher. But he also gets that expertise of ensuring that when students come to Zenith, they feel it as a second home. But we have a good sense of what is happening in India. है ना, ये इंटरनेशनल एक्सपर्ट्स उसी के लिए हैं कि what is happening in the frontier research labs outside of India.
Very good. And so, as you think about like the next evolution of Zenith, like what does it look like? Like, is education like the way it is today? Will it change because of Zenith and other companies which are coming, or other institutions which are coming around it? Or are you guys challenging the status quo, or like are you enabling it? Are you basically disrupting it? How should we see Zenith as a company? And also the idea. I am sure like the others are working on a similar idea like you.
Sure. So I think all of us who are working in alternate education or these new age colleges per se, we are trying to improve the final outcomes for students, right? As I said, I think the opportunities were accessible to only a few, and we are trying to democratize it, right? So the whole paradigm is very, very different. You can't give access to opportunities without ensuring that the students have the right skill sets. आज के डेट में आई थिंक वो बेसिक लेवल से ही मिसिंग है इन ट्रेडिशनल कॉलेजेस. अगर स्टूडेंट्स ढंग से स्किल्ड नहीं हैं तो आप अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ कैसे दोगे तो भी रिजल्ट्स नहीं आएंगे. स्किलिंग करने के लिए उसके पहले का जो करिकुलम वगैरह का फ्रेमवर्क है, कौन पढ़ा रहा है, दैट नीड्स टू बी फिक्स्ड. So I think the problems in traditional education are very, very deep, and it will take substantial amount of time to really overhaul that. So all of us who are in this alternate education ecosystem are net trying to solve this particular problem statement.
So is AI in India, like where is it? Like what is the state of AI in India? Because like, a lot of people are running around like trying to claim that like AI is going to cure the world, like, whatever it is going to do. What's the state of affairs?
See, इंडिया में जितना मैंने अभी तक देखा है, टेक पीपल आर रियली स्केर्ड ऑफ AI. बिजनेस के लोगों को ना अभी तक हवा ही नहीं है कि कितनी बड़ी सुनामी आ रही है. टेक के लोगों के पास ना, मतलब इफ आई नीड टू गिव लाइक अ एग्जांपल, टेक पीपल हैव दोस बाइनोकुलर्स. They can see that there is this big wave coming, and they're literally trembling with fear because it is going to impact substantial number of jobs in IT. but it is going to impact even more number of jobs in business. और business के लोगों के पास ना वो binoculars भी नहीं है, तो वो देख भी नहीं पा रहे कि क्या आ रहा है उनके लिए. In India, 93% of jobs are business related. Let's say in sales, marketing, product, distribution, retail. AI is impacting not just IT. It is impacting each and every one of those. Right? I know a couple of VCs who've told their startups that fire everyone below 10 lakh and completely replace them with AI. Right? Ab sales mein lo, pre-sales can completely be automated through voice AI. Marketing le lo, static dynamic content, everything can be generated through AI. Product le lo, one person can do the job of 5 product people of before. Engineering in IT is like is literally the tip of the iceberg. And I think IT will undergo substantial shift. We were talking that service companies will substantially reduce. I think GCCs are expanding already. Product companies will expand a bit. But overall, the jobs are going to shrink rapidly. And problem ये है कि there is no safe space left. White collar जो आज के डेट में ecosystem है, I think AI is going to impact each and every job. There is not going to be any hiding space.
So if AI is going to like reduce all the jobs, what jobs are going to be existing in the future then?
I mean, yeah, I think we will need to see how the market changes. Even I cannot fathom the type of jobs which are going to be. What I definitely know for sure कि आज के डेट में ना ऐसे जॉब पिरामिड है. At any given point of time, let's say 3.5 लाख जो सर्विस कंपनीज हैं उस पे 2 लाख जॉब्स होंगे. टॉप पे लेट्स से एक गूगल बैठा होगा जो 50 लाख देता है, जो जहाँ पे 1000 jobs होंगे. तो if you draw the salary bands, it will form like a big pyramid. I think this pyramid is going to shrink rapidly, but it's also going to shift up. Shift up का मतलब है कि अगर आज के डेट में एक one person is able to do 10 लोगों का काम, he will be compensated more. है ना? So I think what is going to be important for future directionally is having the right skill sets, not just in tech, but also in business, because somebody is going to replace those pre-sales ke jobs. Somebody is going to write the software for marketing. So having the right skill sets, but also the right network, because gatekeeping is going to be very, very important. So आज के डेट में let's say 100 jobs के लिए 1 लाख लोग apply कर रहे हैं. In future, it's going to get even 10x worse. So I don't know where or how the jobs are going to evolve, but what is going to be important is having the right skill sets in tech and business and having the right network so that you get access to the limited opportunities which are going to be there.
So how does then like the economy with like 1.4 billion people survive then in that kind of thinking? Because like see like like everyone was coming out as an engineering student at the time, like they were coming out, you and I know, like their dream was to go into like HCL, Cognizant, and this and that, and like make up a career there. Now that dream doesn't seem to be like a viable kind of a journey anymore. So entrepreneurship is also like a wild journey. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur, though they want to be one. So what happens to like what kind of skills are needed actually in the future?
I think what is important at this point of time for any person working or student is to really start building as early as possible. It's never been easier to start building whatever you are passionate about and get really deep into that. है ना? मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ कि आज के डेट में क्रिएटिंग अ मार्केटिंग एजेंसी इज़ वेरी ईजी. है ना? अगर आपको कोलैटरल्स बनाने हैं, वीडियो कोलैटरल्स, स्टैटिक कोलैटरल्स, बहुत ईजी है बनाना. बट क्या चलेगा उसका इंट्यूएशन लाना इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड यू माइट स्टिल से कि इट्स स्टिल पैटर्न रिकग्निशन. AI can decipher what is worked, what is not worked. But what about new category launches where you really need to go and understand the final consumers, right? So starting to build and getting really, really deep into getting an expertise in what you're doing is going to be very important. So if there has to be one thing, it is that start early and start actually building in whatever domain that you are.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you is, like, you mentioned that the PM jobs are disappearing, like, the project the product management.
managers, yeah.
So what happens then? What like, so those are all interesting and super provocative conversations, like, or like comments.
Yeah.
So do you really believe that, like, the PM jobs are gone, or?
Shikhar, I think you will conquer that. काफ़ी सारे वाइट जॉब्स ना, वाइट कॉलर जॉब्स, एटलीस्ट इन इंडिया इज़ कि आप ऑफिस में बैठे हो एसी में और आप कंप्यूटर पे कुछ कर रहे हो, है ना, डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम में कुछ कर रहे हो। जो भी ऐसे टाइप के जॉब है ना विच इज़ कम्प्लीटली रिलेटेड टू लेट्स से वर्किंग ऑन अ कंप्यूटर,
They're gonna get disrupted.
they are going to get disrupted क्योंकि it's all about recognizing what has happened before and taking the right decisions based on what has happened before and taking it online, है ना। तो I don't see any job not getting impacted. So product manager, sales में भी जो telecallers for example हैं, एक साल में इतना improvement आया। एक साल पहले अगर if there was a voice AI company and there was a bot that you were talking to, you would have realized in the first 5 seconds that you're talking to AI. You cannot decipher if this is a AI or a human at this point of time. एक साल में इतना इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है ना। सेम गोज फॉर एनी अदर जॉब। तो इंडिया में ना प्रॉब्लम यही है कि द वे जॉब्स आर स्ट्रक्चर्ड, आई थिंक देयर आर वेरी फ्यू पीपल हु आर एक्चुअली एडिंग वैल्यू, हु आर डूइंग समथिंग डिफरेंट और हु आर रियली बिल्डिंग समथिंग। इंडिया में काफ़ी सारे जॉब्स ऐसे हैं जो लेयर्स बने हुए हैं, एवरी लेयर हैज़ स्लाइटली मोर कॉन्टेक्स्ट। तो पोस्टमैन है वो कि डेटा आता है, उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा और एक अपना छोटा इंसाइट ऐड करते हैं और ऊपर देते हैं। I think all of these jobs will get disrupted.
So, let's talk a little bit about your support system in your house, right? Like, who's that? How do they? Because like entrepreneurship is a very tough journey, na? So
Yeah.
highs and lows and all that stuff. So, कैसे ये करते हो आप?
So I have, I have my wife and I have got 2 kids also, by the way. And a very interesting fact is that she is also an entrepreneur. So she has her own preschool. But yeah, I think इसको मैं कैसे जवाब दूँ? So she comes from a chota family background, by the way. Her father has a pharmacy. And my wife is very, very level-headed, right? So nothing disrupts her calm, emotional calm. And I think Indian startup ecosystem में जो मैंने देखा है कि having a family is looked down upon, which is actually very, very surprising. क्योंकि जितना मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, आई हैव बिकम अ मच बेटर पर्सन आफ्टर हैविंग अ फैमिली, है ना। यू लुक फॉरवर्ड टू समथिंग अदर देन वर्क, you develop patience after having kids. You know how to manage people much better. You know how to prioritize your work because you also need to spend time with your family. So your family really, really keeps you grounded. एंड विच इज़ वेरी सरप्राइजिंग कि काफ़ी सारे इंडियन स्टार्टअप्स में ना शादी बच्चों के बाद थोड़ा इट्स ऑलमोस्ट कि यार आपका
रिस्क अवर्स हो जाते हैं।
रिस्क अवर्स से ज़्यादा कि आप उतना टाइम नहीं दोगे कंपनी को, आप एफर्ट पुट नहीं करोगे। सो इट्स एक्चुअली लुक डाउन अपॉन, विच इज़ very, very surprising.
So, changing gears, basically Galgotia University and what they did, right? Like, so how do you even like think about that scenario? Like, because like we get such a negative rap because of all of that.
नहीं तो I think traditional colleges per se have focused more on marketing rather than building the core skills to make students successful. And this was one of those examples कि मार्केटिंग में तो बहुत बढ़िया हैं पर एक्चुअली स्किल सेट्स जो बिल्ड करने चाहिए हैं वो बिल्ड नहीं किए. सो वी imported something and showed that it was our own. If we would have actually focused on building those skill sets of students, we would be in a much better place as an economy as well.
And so NEET exam, like, like it keeps repeating all the time that like the papers get leaked,
Yeah.
and like, so is there something fundamentally wrong about the education system?
I really feel for the students, right? Because I mean, I remember when I was preparing for IIT, this was when I was 17 or 18. That was the top thing on my mind. And when I didn't get through, I literally had felt devastated that this was the worst day of my life. Doing that with millions of students in India, that they have prepared so hard, given that exam, and then saying that this exam will be conducted again. I think there is no worse mental torture for students. They are young at their age. That is what their final dream is. I think government agencies need to be held accountable for such lapses, and we need to have some strong punishment so that such actions are not happening again and again. This is not the first time it has happened. It has happened in the past. We've not learned anything from it. So yeah, it's really disheartening, even from students' perspective.
So like, you're in a space which has been like hotly debated for a long time, right? Like, so what is that like thing that you're doing differently that other edtech companies have not done? Like, I know that you're not edtech in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that you got to distinguish, like, what are you versus edtech?
So I think see, education के अंदर मुझे सही में लगता है कि you should not be VC backed, है ना? Because venture capital जहाँ पे आता है, education is something where your horizon has to be longer term. You know, when you get money from venture capital firms who want to accelerate growth, see rapid results, your time horizon starts shrinking, and that is when bad decisions happen. I think education के अंदर बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है कि फाइनल जो बच्चे हैं उनके लॉन्ग टर्म सक्सेस के बारे में देखा जाए. सो वी आर नॉट अ VC बैक्ड कंपनी, राइट? वी डोंट प्लान टू raise money from venture capitalists ever. So the thought process itself is very, very different.
How did you secure the first 100 crores?
Yeah, so Rohit, as I said, is also the promoter of KR Mangalam University. And he had very similar thought processes in terms of what are the problem statements which are currently there in Indian education ecosystem and what we can do. So the funding is infused by Rohit. So it's a family office driven funding.
So let's get to some very quick rapid fire questions. Infosys in one word.
Oh, it was a good training ground for me to get it in one word.
Training ground.
It was a good training ground.
IIM Calcutta in one word.
That was also a good training ground, but in business domain. And Infosys was a good training ground in terms of the coding and programming domain.
BCG in one word.
Oh, first principles thinking.
OYO in one word.
Hustle.
Zenith in one word.
Future.
Single most overrated skill in 2026.
White collar jobs.
Single most underrated skill in 2026.
Building.
AI in one word.
Disruptor.
Most overrated thing about Indian higher education.
I think everything is overrated. I don't think very few things are being done right.
The most underrated thing about the higher education
in India, I think the will and motivation of students. Probably the Indian students are the most motivated that I've ever seen. They just need the right direction.
Gurgaon in one word.
So Gurgaon is a city trying to find its soul. I think each of the older cities has a soul. Gurgaon is a accumulation of a lot of people from outside who are trying to find, trying to make a soul out of themselves.
The Indian middle class in one word.
aspirational.
One thing your father said about your career that you would never have forgotten.
My father had said to me a long time back that put in your best even if nobody else is looking.
The thing 22-year-old would not believe about your life today. You being a 22-year-old and where you are today, what would you?
Oh, when I was in college or when I was in Infosys, I would not have dreamed that my career would span so many countries, so many continents, so many industries. I would never have imagined that.
The most surprising thing about being a builder for 20 years.
How often you're proven wrong. I think every time you start building, there is something new that the market teaches you.
So let's wrap up the discussion. So the three things that you would want like the audience to remember from this conversation.
I'll start with the single most important thing. I think AI is here to stay. It is not going away, and it is going to impact each and everything of our lives. Right. So if you're not conversant in AI, please start building that competence. And काफ़ी लोग ना दो तरीके से इसको रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं. या तो बहुत डर जाएंगे एंड they'll just go in the negative direction. The other way is to just take stock of where we are and just prepare for the future in the best way possible. So get the right skills, go very deep in whatever you're doing, and then start building.
And the second one?
Second one, I think I don't know who the audience is. I think for students, they should just remember that life is a very long journey, and the worst day that they think at this point of time is going to be 100 times worse over the course of their lives. But they will learn how to manage. They'll learn how to manage that. And for working professionals, I think, yeah, there's a tsunami which is coming. So best to be prepared.
And what about entrepreneurship?
See, entrepreneurship is, the probability of success in entrepreneurship is very low. But there is no time. There has not been a time in history where
Better
it
than
has
now.
been easier to start up. Right, all the access. There used to be information asymmetry historically. There is no information asymmetry. You have all the tools at your disposal. So this is probably the best time to take that bet.
Well, Avinash, this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm sure this is going to be the first of many shows that I'm going to do with you.
Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.